Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Speaking Nerd podcast, the place to talk about all things comics, movies, TV, video games, and everything nerdy. So, we're doing what we did last year, which is the best and worst of 2021. I gotta say, 2021 was a better year than 2020, but not by much. So, but it did give us some pretty in terms of comic book related things and just nerd shit. Like it was pretty good for the year. So
I think it made up for how much. I think it made up for how much it sucked with how much good content we got.
yeah, we did. Yeah, we
If
did.
that makes any sense.
Um, yeah, there was so much just good stuff that came
Mm-hmm.
out of last year, and this video is a bit late, but what can you do, right? So for this video, we're doing the best first, and then we're gonna go to the worst of the year. So who wants to go first? Well, and we'll do it like we did last year. So uh, we'll have about 4 categories between best and worst. So we have movies, TV, video games, and comic books that will decide for each of us which is our best and which one is our worst. So, who wants to go first with their best movie of the year?
Okay. And we're only doing one best movie, right?
Yeah,
I know what you're gonna say.
I'm just going one.
Okay.
We can have like an honorable mention because there is.
Okay. Okay. I have a best movie and an honorable mention.
Okay.
This is gonna make everybody mad, but it's just a fact. I'm sorry, but best movie, Tick Tick Boom.
I fucking knew it. I was.
Honorable mention, Val.
Val was incredible. I loved Val.
I cried during both those movies.
Great documentary.
Hmm.
What about you, Marvel?
I had. Oh, this was neck and neck for me, but I have my best movie of the year was Spider-Man: No Way Home, and as for an honorable mention, and this was a high honorable mention, Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Okay. All right. So, if we're just talking comic books, which I'm going to just to, make it
Keep
a
it
bit
simple.
easier. Yeah. Keep it simple. Keep it Deutsch, as my German teacher used to say. I would say for me, Spider-Man was definitely an incredible theater experience. So much nostalgia. Awesome to be with a crowd to see that movie.
Indeed.
Crazy, absolutely nuts to see Toby and Andrew back.
Yeah.
Really solid story. Really good acting. Especially from Tom. Tom gave his best performance he ever did, I think.
Yeah.
But I liked Zack Snyder's Justice League better than Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Okay.
I think I would say for comic book movies that's my best one, and I would put Spider-Man: No Way Home next to that. They are almost neck and neck.
Yeah,
I think Snyder's Justice League was just. It's such a movie that it's a vision of a whole arc of stories, and that's why I loved it so much.
Also, the soundtrack is amazing.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I think totally 2021 improved. Had like a stellar comic book movies. I guess I'll say catalog.
Yeah, I know. I agree. And we got very minimal.
Yeah.
But the ones we got were really great.
And more than I thought that we were gonna get though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing about Zack Snyder's Justice League. It was like I was expecting it to be just a giant pile of crap, and I was just totally blown away by it. Just they did such an amazing job, and it made me want to see more of what Snyder would do with these characters. Even though I didn't really appreciate what he did with them beforehand, but
I agree.
I guess part of that was studio meddling and a bunch of other stuff, but. Yeah, totally shocked.
I thought Zack Snyder's Justice League was just like a It was a home run. I'll say that. Home run.
Yeah. I watched it again recently just to get it back in my head, and like I will say though, like the first half is just a bit slow for me,
Yeah,
but like
it
it really does pick up in the second half, and like they did such fantastic job.
Though the first half was a little bit slow, I thought the little moments were really good.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of like little interesting character moments with every, like even Alfred got some like moments that I like that I appreciated, but like second half though, like to just turn it into high gear and like
Mhm.
just
Firing
really,
on all cylinders.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I mean, do I even need to mention the Flash scene? Like,
No,
like,
that's like one of the greatest comic book movie moments ever.
That's just a fact.
Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay. Do we have anything else to point out before we move on?
I thought the Suicide Squad was great. It's not
Yeah.
my top. It's not my top movie, but I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, if I had to put it anywhere, it'd probably be like third place, like between comic movies, like just
Mhm.
ranking them. But yeah, Suicide Squad still like that was
And
hands down.
Eternals was really good. I mean, there were a lot of great movies last year.
Yeah,
Like some more non comic book ones. I really liked Encanto. It was an animated Disney movie.
oh, okay.
And just for everybody out there only talking about We Don't Talk About Bruno, it's not the best song. Every other song on there is better.
Oh, okay.
I will say that for the rest of the time. In the Heights was really good too.
Yeah.
Just a lot of great movies last year.
Yeah.
Anything else, Swifty, you want to point out, or are we good to move
No,
on?
I think we're good to move on.
All right, so let's go on to TV shows, and there was definitely a catalog. Even just by comic book stuff, there was a large amount of like shows. I guess I'll go first. The one that took the top spot for me, and this was really hard too. But I'm going to go Invincible. I loved Invincible all the way through. All 8 episodes were amazing, and even just on my second watch, it made it all better. Like just the second time around. So, if you have an Amazon Prime account, I highly recommend you check it out. I mean, it's an animated show, but they do it in such a fantastic way. Like it just made me love that series and all of its characters. So, yeah. What about you? What about you, Swifty?
God, TV shows. I think Invincible was pretty great. Well, I kind of want to keep it on comic book thing, so I think Invincible is probably my top one as well.
Okay.
I will be the classic contrarian and not say Invincible because I have different opinions on that show, but I will not say those opinions.
Are you sure?
No, I don't want to be. I don't want to be brutally murdered. With a Bowie knife. Yeah.
All right, well, what's your pick then? I'm curious.
Can I go with a tie?
Sure, I guess.
Stargirl and Superman and Lois.
Okay, yeah.
Those have been like the ones that just haven't stopped hitting for me, and I think they're really superb shows. They look really good visually, like for TV shows about superheroes. Like the CGI and everything, really well done, and the character work is really well done. Writing, everything, acting, amazing.
Yeah, I did manage to get around to watching some of Superman and Lois, like the first 3 or it was like 5 episodes, yeah. And yeah, it was pretty great. Like I love all the characters, and even the kids who like I wasn't expecting to like at all that like they managed to make them.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought I was gonna hate the teenagers because, well, there was that leaked there's that leaked script before it came out about like the Fortnite joke, and I was like, you know, I'm just gonna die. Oh my gosh! But then it was amazing, so I'm glad.
yeah, definitely a contrarian indeed.
Yeah, you'll have to pay me a lot of money to voice my opinions on Invincible.
Mhm. That sounds like a discussion for another day, which I'm actually really curious about. But I guess we can move on to video games. Sure, let's do that. So I didn't really play much like new
Same.
in this category. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go with something new, but at the same time, like if you want to mention just any game you played this year or last year, you can do that. So I'm gonna go with Guardians of the Galaxy. Um, I thought it was a great game. I love the story, the characters.
I haven't played it.
No,
Yeah,
No, I have not played it
I,
yet.
I won't spoil anything, but like it is such an amazing game.
I didn't
Really?
play it either. I haven't played any of the new Marvel games.
Yeah. Yeah, it was such a shock too, just how it was published by Square Enix, which they did another Marvel game, which we will not talk about here. um,
It who shall not be named.
yeah, but they really knocked it out of the park, and it was what that other game should have been in the first place. So,
Though to be fair, Square Enix is just the distribution. The people who actually like made this game were a different studio.
yes, yeah.
So that made the difference. Just wanted to make that clear.
That's true, and that's whenever people talk about the other game, they don't really take that into account.
Mm-hmm.
So,
They never talk about it. They always say it's Square Enix's fault, but it's only like it's 50-50.
yeah, but I am glad you brought that up because there is a clear distinction between Guardians and that other game, and
Mm-hmm.
it really did show. And it's I
Yeah,
mean, if you haven't played it yet, I highly recommend you check it out.
it
Whether it
looks
is
really good. It looks
yeah,
really good. I'm
yeah,
definitely going to play it at some point.
yeah, I played it on PS4, like a PS4 Pro, and like it looked amazing. So I can't imagine what it would look like on PlayStation 5, but I'm sure it'd be just as stellar, if not more so.
If I can
But,
find a PlayStation 5, then I will be sure to get it for that console.
Yeah, I'll just fly to Swifty's house and play it with him.
What about you, AJ? What's your game of the year?
I did not play a single new game this year, because I don't have money. So I just played old games like basically my top two games for this year were Mario Kart and Arkham City.
Perfect.
Actually, I'll go with Arkham Asylum.
The best Batman game.
Agreed. The best Batman game. Agreed.
What about you? Swifty? What's your game of the year? Whether it's old or new?
Well, I got Assassin's Creed with Valhalla in June or May, and I really enjoyed that game. They brought the RPG element down and made the story kind of at the forefront. So I really appreciated it. Kind of went back to what Origins did. As you guys know, I am a huge Assassin's Creed fan, but I hate the RPG ones. Not because I don't like RPG games, but it just doesn't work for an Assassin's Creed game. It has to be like very story centered and really surrounded by the character, and that's just not what they've been doing. But that was great. And also a much older game I started playing around June was a game called Fight Night Champion. Boxing video game. Phenomenal, especially because you can create your own characters, and as you guys know, I'm a huge boxing fan, and
Yeah,
that was just
he's the boxing aficionado.
true. I helped AJ.
Around these parts.
I helped AJ write a boxing essay. I didn't help him. I just told him some ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a phenomenal essay, by the way. I read it. But no, that game is just super fun. I was never one to like the Madden games or the FIFA games or any of that stuff, but or the what is it the NBA ones. But that one's just great. So yeah, I love it. I'd recommend that. It's probably number one for me. But I've been getting back into Arkham Knight as well. Just the worst Rocksteady Arkham game, but I'm still playing it. We always come back.
It always finds a way.
I know.
Just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
Exactly.
It's only a matter of time before it infects us all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess we should just move on to the last.
Okay. Before we move on, you could call it Arkham Knight Fever.
Don't talk loud. I'm the Mongo man. Sorry, I had to
Oh my god. So I guess we'll move on to our last section, which is comic books. I didn't really read a whole lot of comic books last year. I didn't really go to a comic book store. I didn't really pick up much, which is kind of sad for me to say, but
I spent an absurd amount of money on comic books this past year. So
I will say though, the one that I did read, that I did pick up around, I guess when it was ending, and I don't know if I mentioned this last year, but Donny Cates' Venom is such a really good run.
Donny Cates is on fire.
Yeah, Donny Cates is awesome. I love Donny Cates. I checked out a whole bunch of stuff after I read his Venom run. And
have you been reading his indie stuff? He's doing a comic for, I think it was IDW. I think it was. Let me go check.
Yeah, I might have heard about that one, but
I have it in my collection.
But yeah, his Venom run, they do so much with the mythology of the symbiotes. They do some really interesting things with that, and even, I guess, spoiler alert, they have Eddie Brock's son come in near the end, and they such a good character. They do so much with those characters, and I love it. So, nothing really else to say other than that. But Swfte, what about any comics you want to mention?
Oh, me?
No, sure. Whatever.
Okay. Are you going, Swfte?
You can go first.
Okay. I have a lot, and yes, I was right. The Donny Cates indie run is crossover.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's really good so far. I read a lot of comic books this past year. I also finished this comic run that I've been collecting. It's called Micronauts, and it is amazing. It's from the 80s. It's not a current comic, but I finished the first volume in single issues this year, which was awesome. And I owe it to a really good friend of mine. Also, I've been reading the Iron Man run, the current Iron Man run, which is fantastic. Every cover has been done by Alex Ross, and it is amazing. Really loving it so far. The writing is really well done, and I've also been following the writer of that run. Is doing an indie comic called The Blue Flame, which is also really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, just a really good year for comics, I think. I followed the entire Rorschach run as it was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the Green Hornet run for it was for Dynamite. Yeah, Dynamite Comics.
Right.
Read the Massive Universe, blah blah blah. A lot of X-Men, Spider-Man. You know, the iconic ones.
Yeah.
Also, Superman's doing really well right now. I've been enjoying Jonathan Kent's Superman 2. I like both Superman runs.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. Just a really good year for comics, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Swifty? You want to mention anything for comics? Did you read anything?
I haven't really been reading anything completely new, but I kind of. Okay, so my thing is I'm extremely into older comics.
Yeah.
Especially like I like newer comics, but and I kind of disagree with Alter how they're like going downhill. I think there's some really great DC and Marvel runs going on right now.
Actually, also Indie's really great right now too.
Yeah, and I really want to start getting into indie comics because I haven't actually like taken the plunge yet to like fully go in there yet and read some, but
You gotta go all in.
I will. But like usually lately what I've been doing is I'll go to my local comic shop, which is incredible by the way. Brave New Worlds, yeah. It's a place called Brave New Worlds, and they're incredible. I've been going there since I was a little kid.
I love that name.
Oh, it's great, dude. And I've been collecting the Batman Shadow of the Bat '90s run.
Oh, I love that one. You
Yeah.
told me about that like a year ago.
Yeah, and I'm so close. It's just like they'll have like the one I want when I'm not there, and then somebody snags it. So I just have to keep going back whenever I get a chance.
It's been the same with my search for the entirety of the Micronauts comics. Like just the other day I got the last one of volume 1, and there's 2 volumes of the original comics, and then there's one volume of the new one. So I barely started.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but like newer comics, I would say the one I've been most keeping up with is probably Dark Knight Metal. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
So I guess that's pretty much it in terms of topics. I don't know if there's any last minute things you guys want to mention for anything, any topics.
What was the best Speaking Nerd podcast episode?
The best. I'd say the DC fandom episode was pretty great.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I had a fun time with that. Especially since most of the announcements that we talked about were, I guess we were just talking trash on or something. But other than that, like, I'm sure there's a couple of other episodes earlier in the year, that I'm forgetting about. But yeah, DC
20,
was very good.
2021 is just kind of a blur.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, especially near the end.
The past 2 years are a blur.
True. But yeah, let's hope for hopefully there's a lot to look forward to this year coming out. There's so many things that are coming out which I'm really excited for,
and I'm sure there's even more.
Yeah, even more than that, which they haven't announced yet. But I think that's going to be it for this episode. So concurrently at the same time this is uploaded, the worst video will come out, and yeah, I'm really curious to see what you guys have in store for that because I have some picks for myself, so we'll get to it. But anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share all that fun stuff. Be sure to follow all of us and all our links. And
Yes, follow me, or I will never forgive you, and I'll leave this podcast.
Yeah. Follow me. Subscribe to me. Do all the things. Press all the buttons. The big red button that will blow up everything in existence, and then we'll all be dead.
Hey, don't talk loud. I'm the Mango Man.
Anyway, we'll see you guys for the next video.
Yeah.
Watching, and I don't know what the fuck that was.
Take care of yourself.
Everyone.